I do a bit of work in kids, with kids around self-image and pride and recognizing that thing inside you, you own that, you know, like I went into juvenile justice a couple of months ago, and you go in there, whatever's happened before here, like nobody, not even that past event, nobody gets to tell you who you are. You own it. You can find something positive out of what is a pretty shit situation. Like they're doing 6 months through, one of the kids is doing 30 years in there. Like, so they were even into just local welfare, support units. And so my life is split. I'm going to work with kids. I'm going to work with kids abroad. My own work is, I am a high school teacher, but my own work is also in sports governance, making sure that we do get sport, give access to sport to as many people as we possibly can, and also into talking to businesses about culture and support networks and all that. So I'm doing plenty.
You're flat out.
Yeah,
You're on fire.
Yeah,
I mean, but I think it's important to have all those, those plates spinning. I know for myself, if I'm not flat out, I feel like I'm being lazy.
I don't do it well.
No.
I don't do board well.
No.
So we've got a couple of 100 acres just out of Newcastle, and I don't do board well. Like I've got to keep moving.
Are you still training?
Yeah, man, I'm trying. I'll probably do. I haven't raced for 12 months. Haven't hit a start line. Probably won't hit a start line until I reckon I'll do New York this year.
The marathon, yep.
Yeah. Biggest and best marathon in the world.
Wow.
Take my kids over there and just have a hit out. But I haven't got in my chair for about 8 months.
Okay.
I don't know why, I just can't.
You're busy, that's why.
Yeah, well, you know what? The joy that I was receiving out of the challenge of racing wheelchairs, it shifted.
Right.
The joy is now in the challenge of everything else. And I would rather, like I sit and look at my chair and I'm like, I would rather put Harry in the car and go to the farm and dig a hole and plant a tree for 2 hours than get in my chair and have that selfish.
Well, it is. It's a one-person thing.
Yeah.
It's very much within yourself. It's like fighting or whatever. It's not really a team sport. It's a battle within yourself.
Yeah.
And now you got kids. You got kids that you're looking over after overseas. You got all these plates spinning. As I said, I think as you get older, your challenge just changes.
Yeah.
And things you thought were, even me, just approaching 30. still got a couple of years. But I look back at the things that excited me when I was 18, and now I'm absolutely a different person.
Yeah.
And I know you hear that a lot, but especially being a young bloke, like you think of yourself, you have to be down this straight and narrow, as a footballer, you go to the pub, you do this, you drink or whatever. But my life took a mad, a completely different turn at one point, and I became a different person.
What turn? What triggered that?
Well, I started having these epileptic fits. And I just started having these issues. And all that happens for me is I lose control of this eye. It turns behind me, like I'm trying to look behind myself. I go blind in that eye, and my head gets stuck like this. And then at that point, that was my 21st birthday, and I felt like the doctor said it could be this disease, which will have you wheelchair bound without the ability to move eventually. And that scared me. Obviously, being a bloke who loved playing footy and all these type of things, the idea of not being able to move was terrifying. And so I sort of went to the point where I was like, okay, I might not be able to live soon. What do I want to do? And all I wanted to do was stand up. And so that gave me the courage, if you will, the motivation to go ahead and write my first 5 minutes and go ahead and do stand up. And so that was probably the worst news that I've had in probably the last decade, but also the catalyst for change in my life. I spoke about that in my first special. I was like, this is the reason that this show was named Bad for Your Health and all those type of things. And, I stopped drinking a lot of the time. I still enjoy beer, but I stopped drinking. I focused on my health, my mental health, all that type of stuff at that point, and really tried to make myself a better person for my future kids and all those type of things. And
isn't it funny how you get to that point of being broken and it feels like the world opens up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I've had that a couple of times. Like I had that problem when I was 21, and that opened up the stand-up realm. And then 2 years ago, I had problems with panic attacks and anxiety just randomly out of nowhere. And this was like, I would have these issues. I would have extreme anxiety 24 hours a day for about a year and a half.
And you'd go on stage?
Yeah, mad panic attacks while I was on stage. Like I was about to faint. Like I was dizzy, sweating, freaking out all the time. Tense, like ridiculous muscle tension, like you've just done the biggest back workout of a lifetime. And I'm on stage, to the point where like I can't, the bright lights would disorientate me. I would lose track of where I was looking. But I managed to do an Australian tour while I was like that. And that was insane for me, because that was something that I really, really struggled with. But to go through that, and now I'm coming out on the other side of it, where the panic attacks are much, much less, and the anxiety is getting better, and all those type of things through a lot of work, I found myself a better person, a nicer person, a more engageable person. I can talk to anyone. I've always been able to talk to people, but I really care now.
Yeah.
Whereas when I used to talk to people, it was just me opening my mouth. Whereas now I'm taking in what people are saying. I'm enjoying the happy moments in life tenfold to what I was. And I think that it's just one of those things that you get down in the deep pits of despair and you come out on the other side far better.
Yeah, man, when you're on that edge of being broken, you learn a bit of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because you know how easily it can turn. So my week is every second day I'll get an email from someone who's just, all the family around that person who's just broken their back, their neck, lost a leg. There's some heavy shit out there, and that's the thing I try and get across, that this is the worst day of your life. Like, this is the worst day of your life, your kid's life, uncle, whatever, whoever it is. But don't close off what might come from it. You know, like the whole family, there may be something that comes from this in 5, 10, 15 years, because there is a level of gratitude that just comes out of that. And it's not like so many people who break their back in, not straight away, I'm talking 2, 3, 4 years down the track, say, holy shit, I'm better for it.
Yeah. Because
there is a level of, sometimes if you are able to get through it in a way where you can realize that, you know what, I was close to losing everything and I didn't, rather than the other way, I've lost everything that I want and I want it back, then life can lighten up a bit for you.
And often it's acceptance. This is the card I've been dealt. Yeah. And even with like anxiety I was talking before, you try and fight that, you just get lost.